Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. It is indeed a massive win for Hindu devotees in the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir case, where they had sought daily rights to offer prayers to Maa Shringar Gauri on the compound of the masjid that stands there today. The maintainability of this plea was challenged by the mosque committee on the grounds that it is barred under the Places of Worship Act 1991. Now, with the district court in Varanasi dismissing that objection, the plea will be heard. Remember, Shringar Gauri worship used to happen unhindered till they were barred only post Babri Masjid demolition. Then prayers were allowed once a year from 1995. That barring of daily prayers as they used to happen well post independence is the act that was considered arbitrary and restricting the right to pray of the Hindu devotees. Even if you take into account the Places of Worship Act, the barring of the Shringar Gauri prayers were violative of even that act. As part of the plea, the larger question over the masjid itself, whether it was built after demolishing an ancient Hindu temple by Aurangzeb or not, will also become a subject matter. In short, the plea over prayers to Shringar Gauri has thrown open the entire Kashi case. Remember, a survey of the mosque has already taken place, with the purported shivling also being found in the Wazu Khana of the present-day mosque. All of this is happening when pleas against the Places of Worship Act in itself are being heard by the Supreme Court. Joining us in a short while from now will be the Hindu side lawyer Vishnu Shankar Jain, who's been at the forefront of the legal battle since the very beginning. But before that, let me take you through some of the key points that have come out after the order today. So here is the crux of the order, the operative part under which it was declared that the Hindu petition in this case is maintainable. The Varanasi court has declared that the plea is not barred by the Places of Worship Act. The court specifically held that since the Hindu deities were worshipped inside this masjid complex even after 1947, which is the cut-off date under Places of Worship Act, therefore that act will have no applicability in this case. The court has also ruled that the plea is not barred by the Waqf Act of 1995, and it is also not barred by the Kashi Vishwanath Temple Act of 1983. So these were some of the acts that were cited by the Masjid Committee. So what follows from here as far as the Gyanvapi case is concerned? First of all, the Shringar Gauri matter can now be heard on the merits of the case. That case actually begins now, and the arguments will start now. The 1991 petition in the Kashi case can also be heard further. Remember, this case, the Kashi Vishwanath case and the challenge to the mosque that stands today, dates as back as 1991. So it's almost as old as the Places of Worship Act. Finally, the Gyanvapi survey that has already been conducted and some portions of it were allegedly leaked too can now be taken on record and discussed as well. Remember, this case though also has wider ramifications. Let me just take you through that. Of course, the court will now hear the plea seeking the worship of the Hindu deities. The fact that they are asking for the compound access in itself is a big deal because, as I mentioned, it was barred in 1993. The court may also decide on the historicity of the purported shivling that has been found, and that in itself can have a massive bearing. We all know what happened in India and how many discussions happened when that shivling video came out, the purported shivling. Imagine if the authenticity of that shivling is established. But this case then also impacts multiple legal cases that are currently on in various other courts. There are actually 5 to 6 petitions in this case alone. There are cases pertaining to the Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi in Mathura. And of course, the Ram Janmabhoomi has been settled, but there are Bhodshala cases, many other temple mosque disputes that have come up to court. Finally, it also bolsters the arguments against the validity of the Places of Worship Act in itself, which is already in court. So the big debate that's coming up today, the Hindu prayers have been answered as far as Maa Shringar Gauri case is concerned. Will this verdict or the maintainability order also set a precedent for the others? That's the big debate that's coming up. A lot of our guests joining us, but first, a recap of what happened today.
प्रतिपक्ष का जो है 7-11 इस पर लागू नहीं होता, वक्फ बोर्ड लागू नहीं होता और इसमें हिंदू समाज की तरफ जीत हुई है।
आज दिए जलाए, शंख नगाड़े बजाए, हर हर महादेव का नारा लगाए रात के 8 बजे। आज बहुत बड़ी दिवाली है, आज शिव की नगरी में बहुत बड़ी दिवाली है।
फैसले का मैं भी स्वागत करता हूँ, सब लोग स्वागत करें और किसी भी प्रकार से इस विषय को लेकर के कोई विवाद उत्पन्न करने का काम ना करें।
आज के ऑर्डर के बाद ऐसा लगता है कि फिर अब ये लिटिगेशन शुरू हो जाएगा इन तमाम इश्यूज के ऊपर और हम दोबारा 80 और 90 के दहे में वापस जा रहे हैं। फिर फौरन इसके खिलाफ हाईकोर्ट में अपील होनी चाहिए।